Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm kind of in between builds right now, so I figured I would start a whole new series just dedicated to my Fiero collection. As you all know, I'm a huge fan of the Pontiac Fiero, and so I've decided to start a new series that I'll be adding to from time to time in between builds called Fieros and Scale. That kind of merges both my huge love of the Pontiac Fiero with my huge love of the scale model hobby. So this first selection of Fieros from my collection is dedicated to George's Miniature Cars. He's got a great channel on YouTube where he goes over an incredible collection he's got of all sorts of die-cast miniatures from Hot Wheels to the Motor Max collection, some of which I have here, from 1/64th to 1/18th scale, and it's a massive collection. And if you're really into the hobby of die-cast cars and small scale cars, you really got to check him out. I love his channels and his reviews of all the cars. So this episode is dedicated to him as he had Motor Max cars on before, and as I messaged him on his channel that I have the fresh cherries Fieros, he thought he answered back that he'd be interested to see him. So George, this is for you, buddy. I'm going over the Motor Max Fiero collection. They come in two flavors, which is the American Graffiti and the Fresh Cherries. Now, the first thing we're going to look at here is this amazing little garage diorama. This is in 1/64 scale. It's a garage that's diorama for any 1/64 scale car. You could put a Hot Wheels in here, or the Motor Max like in here, or Matchbox. And this one happens to come with a yellow Pontiac Fiero with American Graffiti, as you can see, decaled on the rear. They have a really nice casting of the Fiero. It gets basically most of the details correct, except for one, which is the quarter window, which they left body color when it should have been black. But as you can see, it does have the Pontiac TurboTech rims. It's got the signal lights, the air intake, the tail light. This isn't actually a 1985 GT, which incidentally never came in yellow. Yellow was an 88 only color, and this is a 1985 model. But as you can see, it's got all of the important details correct. Oh wait, I just noticed that the engine covers, the engine vents are body colored when they should have been black. But that's okay, we can overlook that. It's got a nice interior, and it's really a nice casting for a 1/64 scale car. And added to this really neat garage diorama, which is a tire shop. You can see a floor jack. You have tires on the rack, a little tiny tire machine back there too. It's a really neat diorama from the American Graffiti collection, and by Motor Max. It's called Moments in Time, 1/64 Series 3. Comes in this really nice little display box with the American Graffiti logo on the back. And they listed as a 1984 Pontiac Fiero, but with this body style, it could only be an Indy Fiero, which was an Indianapolis 500 pace car, which came in this particular body style with the arrow nose, rear bumper, and rocker panels. But that car was only in white with special Indianapolis graphics. This car is more reminiscent of a 1985 GT, as that's the body style that came on the standard Fiero with the V6 in 1985. So this is the first piece in our collection here, which is the garage diorama. Now let's take a look at the other versions of this car that they've put out. Now, as far as I know, these are the only 4 other versions of this car that they have put out. There may be others, I haven't seen any. But, so as far as I know, these are the only 4. 2 of them are in the American Graffiti line, and 2 are in the Fresh Cherries line. And George, these are the Fresh Cherries that I was telling you about. One is a blue, again listed as a 1984 Pontiac Fiero, and one is in yellow, the same as the one that's in the garage diorama. Now, they differ, strangely enough, from the American Graffiti, which states it's a 1985 Pontiac Fiero. That comes in black and in red. Now, if you look closely, the American Graffiti Pontiac Fieros have Krager-style rims on them, whereas the Fresh Cherry Pontiac Fieros have the TurboTech Pontiac wheels on it, which is, strangely enough, the rims that the American Graffiti Garage Fiero has. So the Fresh Cherries Fiero has the same rims as the American Graffiti Fiero in the garage diorama, but the American Graffiti Fieros, in their own packaging, have different rims. Now that's an odd little quirk. It's the same casting for all the cars, just come in different colors, with the American Graffiti, as I said, having the different wheels on it. But they come in this really neat American Graffiti packaging with a card on the back giving you a brief description of the car. While the Fresh Cherries come in this fun little cherry packaging with a brief description of the car in their back. Now I haven't figured, let me see how accurate this is. It says here, the 1984 Fiero was the first two-seater car made by Pontiac since the coupes of the late 20s and 30s, which is correct. The Fiero was originally marketed as a fuel-efficient commuter car due to its size and modest engine, a 2.5-liter inline-4. However, the public saw this car as more of a sports coupe. Of the nearly 137,000 Fieros sold that year, only about 7,000 were base models. All others were sport SEs and Indy models that were based on the prestigious pace cars used in the Indianapolis 500. That is extremely accurate information. And that's actually a trading card within the Fresh Cherries selection of the Fiero. Now let's take a look at what the American Graffiti one says. Now this one states is the first two-seater made by Pontiacs in the 20. Okay. The Fiero was originally marketed as a fuel-efficient commuter car due to its size and modest engine. That's the same as the previous packaging. Okay. The public saw this car as more of a sport coupe. For of the 76,371 Fieros sold in 85, that number is not exactly correct. Nearly one-third were GT model. In 85, Pontiac addressed this problem for insufficient power in earlier models of the Fiero and brought much satisfaction to the general public. A Chevrolet 2.8-liter V6 engine rated at 140 horsepower was put into the car, satisfying most critics of the base engine. The high-output V6 was paired with a modified Muncie 4-speed transmission. The 4-cylinder engine known as the Iron Duke was now paired with a Japanese-inspired Isuzu 5-speed, also produced at the Muncie, Indiana plant. Which is, again, amazingly, very accurate. So, there you have it, guys. This is the Motor Max collection of the Pontiac Fiero. And as far as I know, the only colors they were produced. All right, George, this one was for you. That's it for this first episode of Fieros in Scale. And remember, like, subscribe, give a thumbs up. Tell me what you think of these cool little 1/64 scale cars. And I guess I will see you on the next one.